All right. Thank you, everyone, for joining me. Coach Nate here, the 7th episode, Saturday, November the 12th. Can't believe it. Again, we're starting at a little bit of a better time, I believe. We're starting at 12:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. This is probably the time that you can expect on Saturdays, maybe even Sundays, where we're going to be doing the Coach Nate show. I would like to do it a little bit later in the sort of afternoon, maybe late morning my time, but thank you so much to everyone who has joined me today, and I'm really excited to not only be able to discuss the topic that we have for today, foods to improve cognitive function and reduce cognitive ailments, a really important topic, and one that I'm very passionate about as well. Just like you guys know, I'm passionate about heart health, kidney health, diabetes. We've had many streams where we were talking about certain issues, risk factors for those conditions, those chronic conditions. But again, another chronic condition related to cognitive function, cognitive ailments, Alzheimer's disease, dementia. We're going to keep it a little bit simpler today. All right. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to go over a couple foods that are going to help to improve cognitive function and reduce those cognitive ailments, because we see, just like all the other chronic diseases out there year after year, especially in an aging population, especially where we're dealing with inflammation, diabetes, even other chronic and acute diseases, we are seeing the risk factors go up, and also the prevalence of things like dementia and Alzheimer's disease and other cognitive ailments going up as well. So again, I would just like to thank everyone for joining. Thank you so much for the 30 thumbs up already. You guys are absolutely amazing. It helps out the channel so much. And thank you so much for leaving that like. As always, that's our topic for today, but if you have a question in chat, now is your time to answer, because what I want to do is make sure that we focus on today's topic, again, dealing with cognitive function, improving cognitive function, and overall brain health. But I also want to be able to answer your questions. All right, so any questions you might have, now is your time to answer, to ask those questions. That way I can answer them live for you guys. I know we go back and forth in the comments a lot. I get emails a lot, but it's always nicer to do it live and to be able to chat with you live. So I really appreciate you guys coming in, and you're just absolutely smashing that like button right now. Thank you so much, guys. Of course, as always, let me know where you're listening from. Say hi in chat. I love the engagement. Ask your questions. And again, it's great to be here on a Saturday where we're not up at 5 a.m. my time or 7 a.m. where we're up at 12:30 and doing the show. And like I said, this is probably the time when we're going to be doing it and sticking to, approximately this time. Now, Wednesday's show, I also want to be doing a Wednesday show just really quickly before we get into the topic here and maybe have some people ask some questions. Wednesday's show is probably going to be a weight loss check-in. So if you are trying to lose weight, if you are starting a fitness program, if you are, asking any questions, wanting to ask any questions related to diet, fitness, weight loss, it could be anything from a ketogenic diet to what your split should be at the gym. If you're just beginning, we can go over some of that stuff on Wednesday. So I really appreciate you guys not only coming in today, but if you want to check in on Wednesday, if that's one of your goals, we can discuss about that on Wednesday. But again, ask your questions. That's what I'm here for, guys. Cynthia, great to see you in chat. Thank you so much as always. Hi, Nate, and everyone in chat. Happy Saturday. Happy Saturday to you as well, Cynthia. On the job in Brooklyn. You're working today, Cynthia. We'll be listening more than viewing. No problem, Cynthia. Today is more of a podcast. I don't have myself on stream. Of course, we're going to be getting on stream. You guys have probably seen me in the videos. That's something that I'm going to be doing more and more of. Next stream, most likely, I will be on camera. So I have it all set up. Everything is good to go. Just kind of rushed it in here a little bit today. So we didn't quite get that set up, but I'll make sure that I do that for you guys next time. Now, again, cognitive, and it's run in my family. I have some individuals that I'm working with, some clients who aren't really dealing with cognitive ailments. Some, a little bit, just because of, not for old age or cognitive, ailments like dementia or Alzheimer's disease, but cognitive ailments in the sense of brain injuries and things like that. So I do have a couple of clients in that category. Today we're going to be talking more of a preventative effect, preventative measures that you can take. So some foods that are going to be preventative for, not only reducing the risk of things like Alzheimer's and chronic disease, but also improve cognitive function, like memory. That's a huge one, like processing time, as we're going to be talking about here. Memory, lots of things that we're going to be getting into, not only talking about reducing the risk of Alzheimer's disease. And like I said, as we have that older, aging population, we just know that that's starting to increase and more individuals are going through that. So let's get right into the foods here, guys. I have quite a bit of information for you, but again, I want to keep it simple. I'm trying to limit it to 5 foods that you can start adding to your diet today. Now, some might not work for everyone, but I'm trying to get a good list here where, I have a list of, fruit. I have a list of fish, of spices. Another one is going to be more of a dairy product, vegetables. So something for everyone. All right. Something for everyone. Again, we could just talk about certain foods, but not everyone is following the same diet. So I really like to try to get some variety when I'm offering different types of foods that can help different types of ailments. Mary, great to see you in here. You made it live finally. Well, Mary, I have to say, it's kind of tough when I'm starting at 5 a.m. or 7 a.m. sometimes, or when I'm just putting it up 5 minutes before. So I'm glad that you're able to make it in here live. Thank you so much for joining, Mary, and thank you as always for your amazing support, and like everyone else in here. Thank you, guys. So let's get right into the foods. Foods to improve cognitive function. I'm going to give a couple of resources as well. Some journals, all right? Some journal articles that I found quite interesting. So I'll name those off. All right. Again, if you want the names of them, all right, I can easily type them into chat. But I think the first one, if we're trying to improve cognitive function and reduce cognitive ailments, one of the biggest ones and one of the best that we see time and time again in numerous studies, right? And it's been very well studied. There's been numerous studies out there and a lot of meta-analysis, is fatty fish. And the reason for that is, so one of the first foods, fatty fish. So that can be salmon, it can be mackerel, it can be sardines, it can be a fish oil supplement, right? But we want fatty fish. And the reason for that is because we want omega-3 fatty acids. So those fatty fish, why? Well, it is a rich source of omega-3 fatty acids. We're getting a lot of omega-6s in our diets. Those are usually pretty easy to come by, but it's the omega-3s that we really want to focus on. And a lot of the times we don't have the best ratio between omega-3 and omega-6 fatty acids. So we really want to, especially when it comes to brain health, really start trying to get those omega-3s in there. And again, you can do that a number of different ways. I mentioned the foods already. One of my favorites is salmon. Usually, I'd say that's probably the go-to for a lot of people. A fish oil supplement is very helpful as well. We've talked a little bit about supplements on the channel. Again, a lot of people will ask me, if I was to suggest my top 3 supplements, what would they be? Now it's almost like a top 4, but it'd be a multivitamin, it'd be a probiotic, and it'd be fish oil. All right, the other one would be like vitamin D and vitamin K2. But the top 3 would definitely include omega-3s. Getting that fish oil in there is just not only for the brain, but also for your joints, reducing inflammation, and just increasing and improving that ratio between omega-3 and omega-6 fatty acids, guys. Like I said, we're getting a lot of omega-6s, and if we're not having that good balance, that good ratio, it's actually going to lead to increased inflammation in the body, which again can lead to chronic disease such as dementia or impaired cognitive function or cognitive ailments and things like that. Especially with Alzheimer's disease, we see in the literature a lot of it has to do with a lack of antioxidants, with an abundance of inflammation, free radicals, oxidative stress, and we're really going to get into that, guys. So first and foremost, I think one of the best foods to improve cognitive function and reduce cognitive ailments is going to be fatty fish. And the reason for that is because we want to get omega-3 fatty acids, guys. Okay? So when it comes to omega-3s, it's pretty amazing. Your brain uses omega-3s, and this is something that we see in studies again, all right, to build brain and nerve cells, all right, which is absolutely amazing, especially for, as a preventative effect, but also for older adults, all right. Also, we know that omega-3s for, again, younger adults and the preventative effects, all right, we see that omega-3s are essential for learning and memory. So remember, we're talking about cognitive function here as well. All right, we're not just talking about reducing cognitive ailments. We know that omega-3s, and we'll get again more into this a little bit later, but we know if we want to improve cognitive function, omega-3 fatty acids are going to do that for you. We see in studies essential for learning and for memory. All right, and one of the best studies that I saw out there, was from a journal article. The title was Omega-3 Fatty Acids and Their Role in Central Nervous System, in the central nervous system. So this is something else that we want to consider. And thank you guys so much for all of the thumbs up. I can't believe we're already at 38 thumbs up. We're on our way to 40. Thank you so much, guys. Now, another important point that we want to bring up when we're talking about fatty fish, things like salmon. I know maybe sardines might not be the most popular. That's why I always talk about a fish oil supplement. Mackerel is also another really, really good source of omega-3s. A lot of times you'll see listed, great sources of omega-3s. You'll see listed things like tuna. Tuna isn't really the best source of omega-3s, and especially compared to salmon and sardines and other more fatty fishes. Tuna is very, very lean. There's hardly any fat in it. Okay, so when it comes to omega-3s, you're going to want to stick to salmon, mackerel, sardines, or use that fish oil supplement, because fish oil supplement has amazing EPA and DHA in it as well. And again, don't be shy to say hi, guys. We have Cynthia in here. We have Mary in here. It's been nice to be able to start a little bit later here. So hopefully some people who haven't been able to join the live streams are able to join now. Say hi. Let me know where you're listening from. It's always great to hear it. And I always love seeing the engagements. Now, we also know when it comes to omega-3s, one of the best thing, for reducing cognitive ailments, it's able to slow down age-related decline. Excuse me, sorry. So omega-3s themselves, so fatty fish like salmon, which are very, very high in omega-3s, can help to slow age-related decline, which is amazing. So not only is that going to reduce cognitive ailments, and the risk of cognitive ailments over time, but it's going to improve cognitive function and reduce the risk of Alzheimer's disease. So we get sort of both of those benefits coming from omega-3s. We slow down age-related decline, we improve cognitive function, and we reduce the risk of developing Alzheimer's disease specifically, and dementia. Now let me just catch up on here. And again, we see that from a really, really good study, fish consumption and risk of incident dementia in elderly adults. Very, very interesting study. Really great for cognitive ailments and improved cognitive function when it comes to omega-3s, especially. Super Cathio, can you talk some about the kind of chicken is best to buy? Okay, definitely. I can definitely get into that. When it comes to brain health, chicken wouldn't quite be on this list. It is a good source of vitamin B12, which is important. But if we're talking about the best type of chicken to buy, I would always buy, free-range chicken, organic chicken, grass-fed, that type of chicken, things that are going to be, that aren't already pre-made. If you're buying those pre-made chickens, a lot of the times, they're filled with preservatives, filled with different types of hormones. I think free-range, organic, and grass-fed is the best way to do it when it comes to chicken. It might be a little bit more expensive, but it's definitely worth it, especially if you're eating it quite often. Hopefully that helps answer your question. But I eat a lot of chicken myself, so it's something that I've looked into. Christine, great to see you in chat. Thank you so much for joining again, as always. Thank you so much for the support, guys. Hi, Nate. I do like sardines and mustard sauce. Very nice. I eat salmon every chance I get. That's awesome, Christine. Great that you love sardines. It's almost a superfood, to be honest with you. Amazing healthy fats in there, full of nutrition. I think one of the better omega-3 fatty acid sources out there. If you're taking a fish oil supplement, you are most likely consuming sardines, because a lot of the times they're going to be putting sardines in it as well. But that's awesome. I've never had it in mustard sauce, so that's maybe something I'll have to try myself. And eating salmon every chance you get, awesome. Sounds like you're getting great levels of salmon in there. I try to have salmon. I've been having a different recipe, and maybe I'll throw it out there to you guys on the channel sometime. But I've been having salmon 1 to 2 times a week. But I do take, all right, and again, for full disclosure, I do take a fish oil supplement daily. 1 teaspoon of fish oil, all right, and that's every single day without miss. Again, those ones that I mentioned before, the multivitamin, probiotic, and fish oil, those are dailies for me. Sweet Cakes, good to see you in chat. Hello from Southern California. Great to have you here, Sweet Cakes. Thank you very much. A lot of Southern California listeners. That's awesome to see. It must be beautiful out there. I have to say, if I was in San Diego or anything like that, I'd probably be enjoying the weather much more than when I am now up in Canada. It's starting to get very, very cold here. If there's any other Canadians in here, you can probably definitely attest to what I'm saying. But great to have you guys. Thank you so much for your comments and for joining me today. I really, really appreciate it. So we see omega-3s, guys. So exactly what we just mentioned here, exactly what you guys have been mentioning as well. Sardines, salmon, mackerel, sardines, my favorites. All right. If you're going to do a fish oil supplement, that is more than fine as well. All right. It's also important to note, all right, and here's another great study I'll just point out. It's from Advanced Nutrition. All right, one study that I found very, very helpful. All right, omega-3 polyunsaturated fatty acids, all right, and oxylipids in neuroinflammation and management of Alzheimer's disease. Okay, so just talking about the consumption of omega-3s and its benefits when it comes to preventing and managing Alzheimer's disease. Awesome journal article. Thought it was great and thought I'd share that with you guys. Okay, so we see the importance. We're not only, when I give a lot of the times, and if you've watched this, some of the more recent videos on the channel, sometimes, people might think that, I'm not really backing up the information from studies, but I can give you all the studies that I'm pulling this information from, guys. And if you watch the streams where I'm actually on the video and I'm going over the information, you see that I kind of highlight all of the journal articles and literature that I pull the information from. Okay. The other thing that we just want to mention real quickly when it comes to cognitive function, improving cognitive function with fatty fish, omega-3 fatty acids, guys. Important to note. So if we're not getting enough omega-3 fatty acids, so again, if we have that unbalanced ratio between omega-3 and omega-6s, and 90% of individuals have this, unless you're really focusing on omega-3s, right? If we're not getting enough, if we're low in omega-3s, high in omega-6s, it's been linked to certain learning impairments. All right, so that's where we see a decrease in cognitive function. All right, we know that it could down the line, all right, lead to cognitive ailments like Alzheimer's disease, but we also know that it's going to hurt us when it comes to cognitive function. Some of those being, people will describe it as mental fog. All right. I don't know if you guys can relate to that, but mental fog is one of them. Memory is one of them. Even mood. And I know mood is being well researched, especially with omega-3s. There's certain omega-3 supplements out there that are specifically sort of centered around mood. So, mental fog is a big one. Memory, mood, depression, things like that. It's really, really huge for improving cognitive function. All right. Omega-3s, guys, I would start with that. I think it's just a tremendous food choice if we're trying to improve cognitive function and reduce cognitive ailments. All right, and I also like I mentioned before, a fish oil supplement, easy to take. You're getting in those omega-3s. You're getting a nice dose of EPA and DHA. I think that's really important as well, guys. Mustard sauce in a can? Okay. That's what my dad would always get. So that's awesome, Christine. Growing up with that sometimes can be very, very helpful. I remember I used to eat tuna with mustard just to kind of keep calories low. Maybe back then I was eating a little bit too much tuna, to be honest with you. Now I'm a little bit more wary of mercury and things like that in tuna. So I was eating it with mustard as well, but I've never had sardines. I'll have to give that a try. So the first one, guys, fatty fish, getting in those omega-3s, amazing for improving cognitive function and reducing cognitive ailments. And we see that in numerous studies, all right? I named a bunch there, well-researched omega-3s, guys. We want to get those in. Now the next one, and maybe you guys have heard this before, all right? One of my favorites as well. There's a ton of things, and it's going to be turmeric and especially curcumin, all right? The main bioactive compound in turmeric, the spice, curcumin, amazing for reducing, and maybe you guys have seen the research and literature, but great for preventing Alzheimer's disease. One of the reasons for that is it's one of the best natural anti-inflammatories that we can consume as well. So we have fatty fish, omega-3s. Second on my list would be curcumin, and really this isn't rated from best to worst, all right, for my top 5 here, or top 6. However far we want to go with this. But curcumin is definitely on the list, guys. So turmeric, I take it in my smoothie. You can have it any way that you want. A lot of people take it as a supplement. I know a lot of my clients do. Again, just make sure, and a lot of times the supplements don't really do this, but make sure that you're, either taking it with black pepper to help with the absorption, all right, or with healthy fats like avocado. All right, you got to make sure that you're taking it with black pepper or healthy fats, because you have to make sure that we're absorbing that curcumin. It can be hard on the body to absorb. We see in numerous studies that if we're taking it with black pepper, it can significantly increase the absorption rate of curcumin. Mary, let me get to your question here. What about exercise, Nate? Obviously, it's not a food, but can that help with cognitive health? Absolutely, Mary. 100%. So if we're talking about lifestyle as well, and both go hand in hand. So that's an excellent question, Mary. One of the best things that we can do, and even for Alzheimer's disease, and again, this is in the literature. I was actually just reading and discussing with a family member an article that I get a just from my job. I get a monthly magazine, and one of the articles was discussing cognitive function and how important exercise is for cognitive health, and also for cognitive health, so improving cognitive function, but also for reducing cognitive ailments as well. All right, so great question, Mary. Exercise is amazing for numerous reasons, all right, especially when it comes to cognitive health. So both go hand in hand. Again, if we're trying to improve both of these, exercise would be near the top of the list if we're not talking about food, but exercise certainly helps. I can attest to that myself, all right? Not really with the cognitive ailments, but definitely with cognitive function. I work out in the morning. I worked out this morning, all right? And I love working out in the morning. It can't be too strenuous. I find there's like a fine line, all right? If it's too strenuous, then it sort of decreases, all right, my cognitive function. I'm a little bit more a little bit more lethargic, maybe more mental fog, I guess. But just getting out there, moving, not having to be super, super intense. As I say to you guys all the time, movement is the important thing. But I find if I get out there and if I'm doing about an hour, all right, in an hour to an hour and 15 minutes, all right, at a pretty good moderate to low I'd say about moderate to high intensity, I'm good to go. But I can't go high intensity for an hour and 15 minutes. That's not really helping me. So great question. Exercise is definitely up there, Mary. One of the most important things we can do for brain health and overall body health. There was a very interesting study out there, not only related to the brain, but to our bodies overall. The best things, when it was looking at the best things we can do for our overall health and for our body, it looked at quitting smoking, getting 8 hours of sleep. Okay, so quitting smoking, and we know the numerous risks and dangers to smoking. All right, alcoholics, so drinking, alcoholics who stop drinking altogether. All right, both of those were 3xing, so 3xing their health. All right, and that doesn't mean they're 3 times as healthier. This was graded on a scale. I'd have to reread the study. All right, but we were 3xing our health. Getting enough sleep, so getting 8 hours of sleep a night, 8 to 9, I think in the study, was 3xing. So those are huge benefits to our overall health, right? You're quitting smoking. You're going from 10 to 12 alcoholic drinks a day to 0, right? But exercise was 5xing, all right? It was almost double. It was almost double the improvement of, cutting that stuff out. Even losing weight, so people who were obese or extremely obese, all right, going back and getting into a healthy weight, 3xing again. But exercise was 5xing. All right, exercise is one of the most important things we can do, including in here with eating a healthy diet. So great question, Mary. And that's why I'm so big on exercise, guys. And if you want help with that, send me an email. That's what I was doing this morning. I was actually working this morning with clients. I have another client that I'm going to be working with. So, exercise is huge for me. But great question, Mary. Super Cathio, you're very, very welcome. How do I take turmeric and black pepper? So how do you mix it, Cynthia, do you mean? So it just kind of depends how you're taking your turmeric. If you're taking it with a supplement, I would look for, a supplement that has both turmeric and black pepper in it. You're starting to see that more and more, where you'll see a combination of them, just like you're seeing a combination of vitamin D3 and K2. You're starting to see the combination of turmeric and black pepper because of the synergistic effect. But if not, let's say you're having just like a teaspoon. I don't know if you're making a tea. A lot of people will have turmeric tea. Just putting a little bit of black pepper in there. It doesn't have to be a lot, but just putting a little bit of black pepper, right? Like 1/8, if that. I'd say a pinch of black pepper into the turmeric tea as well. If I'm having a smoothie, that's what I do. I'll put in like a heaping teaspoon of turmeric in there, and then just a little bit of a pinch of black pepper. So there's numerous ways that you can do it. Just however you're taking your turmeric, just make sure that you're getting black pepper in there as well. Whether it's a smoothie, whether you're, adding it to a different recipe. Some people will add it to like rice recipes, I know, to pasta recipes, to curry recipes, things like that. Just make sure you're adding a little bit of black pepper in there as well. It's one of the best things you can do for yourself when it comes to consuming turmeric and getting that curcumin absorption. Make warm golden milk with plant-based milk. Yeah, that's awesome, Christine. I think I have a recipe on the channel, but golden milk is great. You can throw some like if you're using plant-based milk, like an almond milk or a cashew milk, I really, really like. That's a great way. You could throw a little bit of black pepper in there. Oh, my pleasure, Cynthia. Great question. Thank you so much for asking. But I think that's a great one, guys. So curcumin, really high on the list. One of the best ones for improving cognitive function and reducing cognitive ailments. Huge preventative effects. A lot of my family members are taking it. A lot of my clients are taking it. And you see tons and tons of research articles and literature out there. Again, curcumin, one of the most researched, I'd say, foods out there really right now. Right? Like we see through studies just how many brain benefits that it actually has. We have to remember it's an active ingredient in turmeric, okay? It's the most bioactive ingredient in turmeric, shown to cross the blood-brain barrier, all right, directly benefiting brain cells, which is absolutely amazing, all right? Not a lot of other foods, not a lot of other, whether it's a spice, a fruit, or a healthy fat, being able to cross that blood-brain barrier and actually directly benefit brain cells is super, super important and tremendously going to improve our overall cognitive function and cognitive health. Cynthia with the super chat. Thank you so much, Cynthia. I really, really appreciate that. Thank you for your support. I really appreciate that, Cynthia. Thank you so much. So big shout out to you, Cynthia. And like I said, always a pleasure to have you in there. But thank you so much for the support there, guys. I really appreciate it. Cynthia, big shout out to you. The super chats, one of the ways that you're supporting the channel. Again, really appreciate it, Cynthia. Shout out to you again. Thank you very much. And hopefully you guys, Cynthia and everyone else is getting good value from this stream so far. But again, big shout out to you, Cynthia. Thank you very much. So again, crossing that blood-brain barrier, guys, directing and benefiting, all right, brain cells specifically, all right, absolutely amazing. We also know that curcumin, very, very potent antioxidant. Not a lot of people know this, but it has really strong antioxidant properties, all right, and not only antioxidant, but anti-inflammatory properties as well. So we're getting the benefits of both a potent antioxidant and a potent anti-inflammatory. So what does that mean? Okay, so, curcumin, yes, we have antioxidants. It's working as an antioxidant. It's working as an anti-inflammatory, which is amazing for reducing the risk of chronic ailments like Alzheimer's disease, like other cognitive ailments like dementia. It's being able to cross the blood-brain barrier. So, one, it's going to benefit memory. All right, so we're seeing an improvement in cognitive function. So benefiting memory, that's a huge one. Also, in individuals with Alzheimer's disease, all right, it may also be able to help clear amyloid plaques. So with Alzheimer's disease, it can be used as treatment, but also think of it as a way to prevent Alzheimer's disease if we're clearing out those amyloid plaques. All right, we see a connection in a lot of studies and a lot of literature, the buildup of those amyloid plaques, increasing the risk of developing Alzheimer's disease, all right, and dementia and other cognitive ailments. So just tremendous curcumin. I love. Sorry about my voice, guys. I've been talking all morning, but I think we should be good here. Cynthia, big thumbs up to you. Thank you again so much. Appreciate you. You're, like I said, always in our chats. So thank you so much. I really appreciate you, Cynthia. But that's huge. Amyloid plaques. And we see that, okay? We see that in the journal. So where did I get that information? Again, I don't just spit that out to you guys on things that I heard or maybe saw in a video. All right. Where do we get that information from? Well, one of the places that we get that information is from the Journal of Alzheimer's Disease. All right, we specifically get it from the Journal of Alzheimer's Disease. One of the best journal articles out there that I found was called, all right, the title of it was Protective Effects of Curcumin Against Amyloid Plaques in Alzheimer's Disease. All right, so the title, all right, is pretty self-explanatory there. All right, so great article. If you want to go and read that, you can see the benefits of curcumin specifically related to Alzheimer's disease and amyloid plaques, but also with other cognitive ailments and chronic ailments when it has to do with neurodegenerative diseases. The other amazing thing about curcumin, guys, all right, and again, curcumin, we're talking about consuming turmeric on a regular basis, guys. If we're having it just once a week, it's going to be hard to see the benefits. If we're having it every other week, again, and it's the same thing with those other foods, we need to be having it, in moderation, but on a regular basis. All right. The other thing, all right, very important to note, all right, it can help new brain cells to grow. All right. Very, very important. Help new brain cells to grow. Again, that's going to be, in addition to its antioxidant and anti-inflammatory effects, but also its benefits from crossing the blood-brain barrier. All right. Again, boost brain-derived nootropic factors. All right. Amazing for our brain cells. All right. I love curcumin. Last thing I'll say about curcumin, guys. All right. And one thing. Sorry, Enoch, I'm not exactly sure what you mean by that comment. Indeed, what you eat, I think maybe is what you meant there. Sorry, what you eat is you. If that's what you meant, then I totally agree, my friend. Thank you so much for coming in chat. I think that's what you meant there, my friend. So thank you for that comment. But again, last thing I'll say about curcumin, guys. Last thing I'll say about curcumin, important to note, when it comes to curcumin and overall brain health, okay, we may have to use, unless you're taking it, like I said, you're taking it consistently or eating it consistently, you might have to use a curcumin supplement, since the doses that are found in these studies are typically higher than if you're just consuming the spice, let's say, in a tea. Now, if you're having, a couple teas or a tea every day, then you should be fine. But just know that, taking a curcumin supplement can really, really be helpful with improving that overall brain health and make it a little bit easier to get the dosage to actually see those positive effects in improvement in cognitive function and reducing cognitive ailments. So I thought I'd just put that in there because one thing I did notice in some of the studies, the dosages were fairly high. But, if you're taking it on a consistent basis, guys, taking it on a consistent basis, whether it be in high doses, I wouldn't recommend a high dose of if you're taking it consistently. I think just taking it consistently is the important thing. So just some food for thought there, guys. Enoch, I hope I'm pronouncing that right. Enoch, if I'm not, I apologize. What you eat is you. Absolutely. See, I agreed with you. I definitely agree with you there. You are what you eat. Yes, very educative. I love it. Okay, great. I'm glad that you're finding it very educative, and getting great value from it, Enoch. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. And I hope everyone else is. And I should thank everyone. We just hit 50 likes. Thank you so much, guys. I really, really appreciate it. Wow, 50 likes already. And we're 37 minutes into this. So thank you so much, guys. You're all very, very much appreciated. Great to have you on board, Enoch. Thank you so much. So omega-3 fatty acids, so fatty fish, those would be some of the foods we already talked about: salmon, mackerel, sardines, or a fish oil supplement. The next one would be curcumin. So turmeric, tons of health benefits when it comes to improving cognitive function and reducing cognitive ailments. Cynthia, if you have a trader, hopefully I didn't miss any questions here. If I did, I apologize, Cynthia. But Cynthia, if you have a Trader Joe's near you, they have turmeric ginger tea. Ooh, you're right, Mary, that's one of my favorite teas, to be honest with you. And that does have black pepper in it. And it makes sense because you're really starting to see that most of the things that, turmeric, whether it be supplements, whether it be teas, and anything else, you're starting to see that combination because people are starting to figure out and get on board with that synergistic effect. All right, we want both of those. I think it increases the absorption like 1,000%. All right, so like not just doubling the amount that's absorbed, but it's like 2,000 or 3,000 times. It's super, super significant. So make sure, all right, that's why I always say make sure you're having it with black pepper, or we're seeing in some other literature being able to have it with a nice healthy fat is also very beneficial. Like one of my favorites, and I always go to, is avocado. And again, big shout out to you, Cynthia. Thank you so much for that super chat. I still see that there, the hands clapping. I don't know if I think those are super chats or stickers, but I'm not sure what it is. But I love that little animation there. Thank you so much. So thank you so much, guys. 53 thumbs up now. You guys are absolutely amazing. Thank you so much. And it really, I have to say, these streams really, not only do I enjoy them, but they really pump me up because I really want to be delivering the best information for you guys. And if you guys are taking away good value and good information from them, then it's a job well done for all of us. So thank you so much. I'm getting pumped up just talking about it and being able to talk back and forth with you guys. So thank you so much for being here. Really appreciate it. Like I said, we're just at 50. We're at 53 thumbs up. Appreciate you guys so much. Now let's get on to our next food. All right. Again, this isn't necessarily going from, number one, so top ranked, down to the lower ranked, but one of the better ones, and I've had a conversation with actually a client about this week. One of the better ones and underrated ones is going to be Super Sticker. That's what it is. Cynthia. Thank you so much for the super sticker. I love that. Thank you very much, Cynthia. I appreciate you. That was the word I was looking for, the super sticker. But the next one here, guys, and very underrated, I think, again, one of my favorites. If you listen to the chat, one of my favorite, or the live streams or videos for that matter, one of the favorite foods that I love, a true superfood, just like the other ones are, but this one especially, blueberries, guys. Numerous health benefits, especially related to improvement in cognitive function and reducing cognitive ailments. All right, numerous health benefits, especially for our brain health. All right, one, we know that it's packed with vitamins and minerals. I could go on and on about how much, just how super dense they are in vitamins, in essential vitamins and essential minerals. All right, but more importantly, when it comes to cognitive function and reducing cognitive ailments, we know that blueberries are super high and one of the best sources of important antioxidants. And again, if you've heard these streams, you've heard me mention this. All right, blueberries are an amazing source of an antioxidant. And a lot of times they're found in blue or purple fruits or vegetables. They're also found in strawberries, which is quite interesting. So I like pointing that out as well. But a special plant compound that is very important for brain health. All right, and they're known as anthocyanins. All right, so very high in numerous antioxidants. I've read in numerous studies like tocopherols, quercetin, polyphenols, flavonoids. Those are the ones that come to mind, but anthocyanins is probably one of the most important ones. All right, we know that it has an amazing anti-inflammatory and antioxidant effect, all right, on the body. And again, both of that combination of anti-inflammation and antioxidants is going to help to reduce chronic disease and, especially for our brain, help reduce cognitive ailments like Alzheimer's disease, guys. Inflammation is one of the worst things for our body. That's why sugar is almost like a poison. Alcohol is almost like a poison for our body, guys, because it's going to create so much inflammation. Same thing with sodium, salt, fast food, things like that. Blueberries, one of my favorite. Full disclosure, I have a cup of blueberries every single night. Or maybe a little bit less than a cup, but it's been about a cup lately. It's sort of like my treat at nighttime. But I eat blueberries every single day. Just like I mentioned before, I'll take a teaspoon of fish oil. I am having about 2/3 to a cup of blueberries per day. And they're frozen blueberries. So I get that question a lot. Is it okay to have frozen blueberries? Yes. Just make sure that you're having your blueberries. You're well on track. It helps motivate. That's awesome, Christine. That's awesome. That's what I love to hear, and that's why I love doing these streams. Helps motivate you. That's what we're here for. We're all here to help motivate each other and improve. And like the big thing for me was in September, to stay motivated as we move into January, because we want to start January off strong. And I got a couple good things coming up on the channel as well. A lot of good information coming up. Mary. Nate, the amount of research you put into these videos is very much appreciated. Thank you for that. Well, my pleasure, Mary. Thank you so much for that comment. I really appreciate that. And, when I switched to, I saw your comment there, Mary, where I switched to having my face on there and then sort of my little piece of paper that I was going over. That's pretty much the amount of research that I try to put into each video and into each live stream. Like with the live stream right now, if I had the cameras rolling, all right, it'd be very similar. Now, a lot of the stuff on brain health and these certain foods, I can remember off the top of my head. But if we're talking about inflammatory bowel disease or keto diet or things like that, and I want to reference a certain paper, sometimes maybe it's better to write it down just so I can remember that. But today's topic is one of those ones that's very, near and dear to my heart. I've had relatives, deal with cognitive ailments in the past. It's something that a lot of my family members are trying to prevent. I think it may run in the family. So it's something near and dear to my heart. So it's something that I'm trying to keep well researched. So I really appreciate you saying that, Mary. Thank you so much. And Cynthia, enjoying this chat. Very interesting and informative. Well, thank you very much, Cynthia. I'm glad that you're enjoying it. I'm very much enjoying it as well. And I'm glad you guys are getting good information from it. Mac, great to see you. I'm doing well. How are you doing, Mac? Awesome to see you in chat. It's always great to have you in here. Thank you to everyone else in here. You guys are just pouring in here right now. You're smashing that like button. Right as I say that, and I see the thumbs up go up even more. So thank you so much, guys. I really, really appreciate it. Like I said, Wednesday, my face will be on cam so I can talk directly to you. But again, I didn't set it up, and I was running just a little bit late. But if you watch a couple of the recent videos, my face is on there. But I will definitely be on stream next time. What can I substitute? That's a great question. All right, so let's talk a little bit about, before we get into blueberries here, let's just really quickly talk a little bit what you can substitute for avocado. All right, especially being allergic to avocado. Here's the thing, Cynthia. There's so many things that you can use to substitute for avocado. Yes, avocado is great. It's a healthy fat that's full of monounsaturated fat, which is great for our heart, which is great for reducing inflammation. It's been shown to reduce chronic disease, but there are so many other substitutes that you can use for avocado. One, all right, is just regular, all right, nuts and seeds. So one of my favorite things is literally almond butter. Okay, almond butter, peanut butter to a certain extent, but almond butter I really like as a substitute, all right, for avocado. Now, I'm kind of assuming that you're meaning substitute for a healthy fat. Hopefully not for a recipe, because if you're changing, avocado to almond butter, probably not the best tasting. But if you're looking for healthy fats, if you're doing your fish oil, if you're having almond butter, if you're having nuts and seeds like pumpkin seeds, those are all great substitutes for avocado. Pumpkin seeds, some of the other seeds that I like, hemp seeds, are amazing. Those actually are a great source of omega-3s as well. Also monounsaturated fat. So hemp seeds, very, very underrated if we're talking about brain health as well, I should point out. But avocado is great, but there are a ton of healthy fats out there that are great. Nuts and seeds, some of my favorites, I would say almonds and walnuts. When it comes to seeds, again, I don't want to inundate you with, 5 different seed varieties, but, almonds and walnuts. And then if seeds, I think pumpkin seeds are really good. I think hemp seeds are really, really good. Those would be some of my favorite ones. And then again, olive oil is a great one. You have your omega-3 substitutes, so with fatty fish. I think those are all great ones. Those are the ones that are jumping out to me right now, Cynthia. If you have any specific questions on other fat sources, let me know, because those are just the ones that are kind of coming to my mind right now. Like things like even pecans. Pecans is an amazing one. Pecans are very, very healthy, very underrated. Good to hear, Mac. Awesome. So I hope that helped answer your question, Cynthia. Mac, good to hear that you're doing great. Great to have you in chat. Thank you so much. Yes, that new format was awesome. You really liked it. That's awesome, Mary. I'm glad that you liked it. I thought, I found it very interesting to do as well. I thought it was fun for me. I was trying to keep them a little bit shorter. I'll be honest. I was trying to keep them. I remember my second one, it ended up being about 19 minutes, and I said I'm going to do this one and it won't be over 8. But sometimes once we start mentioning journal articles and literature and stuff like that, it's hard for me to stop talking, I guess. And just to kind of go over it and make sure that all the bases are covered. But I think I'll be able to shorten them once time goes on. But I'm glad that you liked it. Pamela, great to see you in chat. Hope you're having a great Saturday. Thank you, Pamela. Hope you're doing well. Thank you so much for joining us. Mac, thank you very much. Doing a great job. Well, I appreciate that. And we're not even halfway there, guys. So let's keep on going here. Thank you so much for the compliments. Thank you so much for the support. Again, big shout out to Mary. Big shout out to Cynthia. If you're finding value in the chats, or if you're finding values in the videos, in the streams, some of the best ways to support the channel is through the join feature as a Fit Team member, or through the super chat, or as I just learned, through the super sticker that Cynthia just did. So thank you so much. Big shout out to you guys. But that's some of the other ways here. Again, I don't want to put a price on, coming into the chat. I want these to be free for everyone. But if you feel inclined to support, then the super chat function or through the join function is the best way to do that. And by thumbing up the video, and of course by coming in and watching, and I just appreciate it so much. So thank you, everyone. Speaking of pumpkin seeds, I just roasted a bunch last week. Very nice. They were so good. When you said, it's so funny you just mentioned this, Mary. They were so good that I also roasted seeds from a butternut squash. It's funny, when you said that, for some reason, butternut squash came to mind as well. Very, very healthy and very tasty as well. Thank you, Pamela. I'm doing very good as well. Thank you very much for asking. Been having a great day so far. I've worked out. I've worked with a couple clients, and now we're on to an amazing stream here. So thank you very much. Question answered. I'm glad, Cynthia. Thank you. Thank you for asking. So again, our next one, blueberries, guys. And remember, when it comes to improving cognitive function and reducing cognitive ailments, those anthocyanins, those amazing plant compounds that have both anti-inflammatory and antioxidant effects, super important. One of the best sources I mentioned, right? One of the best sources of antioxidants, which we know fights inflammation, free radicals, and oxidative stress. Okay, so that's super important to kind of stress, guys, right? Blueberries, one of the best sources of antioxidants, right? Can fight inflammation, free radicals, and oxidative stress. All right, and those anti-inflammatory properties are amazing. Now, why is that important? Why would I discuss that and bring that up here when I'm talking about blueberries and cognitive health? Well, we know that inflammation, free radicals, oxidative stress, especially chronic, all right, especially chronic inflammation, all right, and chronic oxidative stress, all of these, all right, can lead or at least increase the risk of neurodegenerative diseases, all right, and not only that, all right, neurodegenerative diseases, but also, all right, increase the risk of cognitive aging, so brain aging, and also decline. So you're seeing a decrease in cognitive function, but you're also seeing an increase in cognitive ailment risk, right? So inflammation, free radicals, oxidative stress, blueberries are going to help fight all of those, which in turn can help reduce the risk of neurodegenerative diseases, such as Alzheimer's disease, such as dementia, such as memory loss, reaction time, things like that. Now, again, where do we get that from? All right, again, we just made that point. Is it from a video? No, it's going to be from one of my favorite journals. All right, Food and Biochemistry, an amazing source. All right, is an article titled "Understanding Oxidants and Antioxidants." All right, and then classical team with new players. So interesting title. All right, I'm not quite sure why they named it that, but they were looking at the role of antioxidants, all right, and how it can improve and reduce the risk of neurodegenerative diseases, all right, through fighting inflammation, through reducing free radicals in the body, and reducing oxidative stress. So great journal article there. And one of my favorite journals, one that I pull from a lot, one that I research a lot, Food and Biochemistry. One of the other ones that I like, Advanced Nutrition is a great one. I already mentioned one when it came to omega-3s from there. Those are some of my favorite sources. So do I, Pamela. Love blueberries. Like I said, I eat about 2/3 to a cup of blueberries per day. And that's almost every single day, if not every day. So I'm a huge fan of blueberries. Other great ones, all right, if you're not a blueberry fan, strawberries are great. Blackberries are great as well. Raspberries, to a certain extent, when it comes to cognitive ailments and reducing or improving cognitive function, are also great. Right now, the interesting thing about blueberries and why we have to put them on the list and why I have them on here instead of blackberries or strawberries, like I mentioned, all right, we see in these studies that blueberries have been shown to accumulate in the brain. The antioxidants in blueberries have been shown to accumulate in the brain. All right, so what does that mean? Again, that's almost like the crossing the blood-brain barrier that we see in curcumin. All right, we see that they accumulate in the brain, all right, thus allowing, all right, for improved brain cell communication. So communication between the brain cells, and that's super important when it comes to cognitive function, guys. All right, reducing memory loss, increasing reaction time. Super, super important. And you don't get that from a lot of other foods. Blueberries, you do. All right, so overall health, overall brain health, blueberries, one of the best. Again, that's coming from Advanced Nutrition. All right, again, one of my favorite journals. All right, we see, and again, that's going to be coming mostly from those anthocyanin antioxidants, guys. All right, that accumulation of antioxidants in the brain, all right, a lot of it can go back to those anthocyanins, those special plant compounds that I had mentioned before. All right, because we see that in the journal article, recent research on the health benefits of blueberries and their anthocyanins. All right, so again, we see some of that, the accumulation of antioxidants in the brain, which is again going to have anti-inflammatory effects. Inflammation, all right, again, we want to get rid of, because chronic inflammation can lead to a risk in Alzheimer's disease and dementia. We also see it in another journal article, Molecules, it's called. All right, I've seen that one a couple times. Haven't read it a ton, but it was an interesting one here. But this was an important article here, guys. Biochemical properties and neuroprotective effects of compounds in various species of blueberries, of berries. But blueberries was one of the ones specifically mentioned. They really went in depth on blueberries in that. All right, they found blueberries, neuroprotective effects, reduce oxidative stress, even looked at reducing neurodegeneration. All right, so blueberries in and of themselves, just on those different berries, blueberries stood out head and shoulders above the rest. There's another one in there. It might have been loganberries or something along those lines. A very not a very popular berry. I don't know if there's anyone in chat that's a fan of loganberries. I believe I'm pronouncing that right. I'm trying to remember off the top of my head. I believe it was loganberries in there. Might be something I have to do more research into, maybe a video idea. Okay, now let's close it up with blueberries, because like Pamela, I'm a huge fan of blueberries, and we see the super, super important effects that it has on improving cognitive function and reducing cognitive ailments. All right, we see blueberries can be especially important for older adults. Why? One, it can improve memory and cognitive processes. All right. So again, as we start to get older, as we start to, in older adults start to see a little bit of cognitive decline, we see that blueberries, all right, in particularly, can start to not only have preventative effects when it comes to memory, but can improve memory and cognitive processes, which is very important. And again, we see that in another, I'm not going to go through the journal article with you guys. I think I've listed a lot of enough journal sources for you guys. Again, I don't want to inundate you with the boring. If you want them, I can give them to you. But I think you guys have heard enough journal articles from me. I have some loganberry jam. Fantastic. That's awesome, Christine. So there are some people out there who have heard of loganberries. So that was the other one. So blueberries and loganberries, all right, they kind of stood out above the rest, which is very interesting for me to read. Blueberries, though, head and shoulders above the rest. All right, we saw again those neuroprotective effects, reducing oxidative stress, reducing inflammation, reducing free radicals, and having a lowering of the risk of neurodegeneration. Super, super important. That's awesome. No added sugar. Beautiful. That's what you love to see, Christine. No added sugar. Again, if you're having that added sugar, you're kind of reversing the effects, aren't you? You're taking the good effects from the loganberry jam and then sort of all those negatives from the added sugar. So that's awesome, Christine. I'm glad that there's someone in here who'd heard of loganberries, because I thought it had been loganberries, but I couldn't quite remember there. So that's great, Christine. Thank you for pointing that out. And thank you so much, guys. I see we're over 60 thumbs up. Thank you so much. I really appreciate the support, guys. You have no idea how much it means to me. Now, let's get into our next one. So we have, if you're just getting in here, all right, you might want to rewatch, because we talked one about fatty fish, those foods that are super important to improve cognitive function and reduce cognitive ailments. All right, one of them being fatty fish, omega-3 fatty acids, guys, super important. Another one, turmeric, because we want curcumin. All right, curcumin being the important part there. Next, blueberries. All right, also loganberries, raspberries, and blackberries to a certain extent. But I think if you're going to go with one, which I like to do, I like to give you guys the best one that you can add to your diet, especially on the certain topic that we're talking about. Blueberries, super, super important here now, guys. Now, we've had omega-3, so a fat. We've had a spice. We've had a fruit. Let's get into a vegetable. What's one of the best vegetables? We know dark leafy green vegetables are healthy in a number of ways, but which one is going to be super helpful when it comes to boosting brain health, when it comes to improving cognitive function and reducing cognitive ailments? Well, one of the best ones that I saw was broccoli. All right, of course, we know broccoli is super, super healthy. All right, so that might not come as a surprise to you guys, but I think if you're going to go for one of the best ones, all right, that you can add. And by the way, Mary, pumpkin seeds, also very healthy for our brain. All right, we should point out. Okay, so again, I'm going to give you a couple, but I'm also going to give you a couple kind of secret ones here at the end, all right, that I think are very, very helpful for overall brain health, cognitive function, reducing cognitive ailments like Alzheimer's disease. So, broccoli might be one of the ones that you might have already known of, or of course, all right, it's going to be healthy, but I'll give you a couple other ones that you might not have thought of here. But broccoli in particularly, we have to include, all right? It's super important that we include this, all right? And the reason why is, all right, broccoli is packed, all right, with unique and powerful plant compounds, all right, antioxidants, all right, an amazing study, all right, amazing study again that I found in Molecules, all right, profiling of phenolic compounds and antioxidants, all right, antioxidant activity of 12 cruciferous vegetables, where broccoli stood out so far above the rest, all right, just because of its powerful plant compounds, all right. Also, it has sulforaphane, which is amazing for brain health, all right, and we don't get that from a lot of other foods. I should add, all right, you get maybe a little bit from garlic, but when it comes to sulforaphane, broccoli is going to be one of your best food choices in order to get that. It's an amazing choice for our brain. We also know, all right, it's very high, and we haven't mentioned this yet, but it's also very high in vitamin K, guys. Just 1 cup, all right, I think just about 1 cup, maybe even a little bit less, all right, is going to give you about your daily recommended daily intake of vitamin K, all right, which is amazing. So you don't have to, eat a whole plate of broccoli. If you're having broccoli even in moderation, on a regular basis, all right, you're going to see an improvement in cognitive function and a reduction, or at least preventative effects of cognitive ailments. Right? And we see that, all right, in a really, really interesting study. All right, again, not going to name the study here, but of course I'm taking that from a study, guys. We see that vitamin K, very important when it comes to boosting brain health, memory, all right, making sure that we're improving cognitive function, reducing cognitive ailments. Now, another reason why, all right, vitamin K is so important, all right, and this one I will give you the study because there has been a few studies on this when it comes to vitamin K, because sometimes, if people aren't, and it's almost cliche, but if people aren't eating vegetables, then likely they're a little bit low in vitamin K, all right, a little bit low in vitamin K. Now, the reason why we want to make sure that we're having adequate levels of vitamin K, especially in relation, because remember, we're talking about brain health here, in relation to cognitive function and reducing cognitive ailments, all right, a really interesting, all right, study here, all right, we saw that higher intake, or at least, hitting your daily recommended value, all right, recommended daily intake, your RDI of vitamin K, was linked to better memory, all right, so improved memory and cognitive function, all right, so we're already seeing improved cognitive function just by getting that good level of vitamin K, and broccoli is packed. Like I already mentioned, if you're getting a cup of just broccoli, all right, you're already getting 100% of your recommended daily intake. So broccoli is very important when it comes to brain health. Actually, it's bilberry. Now I'll watch for loganberry. There you go. That's okay. That's all right, Christine. Bilberry is actually very, very healthy as well. Bilberry is great. Tons of antioxidants in bilberries. That should probably be another video that I should make. So many great berry varieties out there. You really can't go wrong on most of them, to be honest with you. But yeah, loganberries, not one that I have too much research on or look too much into, but just through the blueberries and looking at those studies, a lot of benefits when it comes to our overall health, and especially to cognitive function and reduction of cognitive ailments. And again, that goes back to its reduction of inflammation, oxidative stress, free radicals, things of that nature, guys. But again, vitamin K, essential, really vital to improving cognitive function, reducing cognitive ailments. All right, an amazing study. Increased dietary vitamin K intake is associated with less severe subjective memory complaint among older adults. All right, so basically, let's sum that up. All right, older adults, all right, dealing with memory loss, all right, having memory issues, all right, they see an increased intake of vitamin K. All right, if those individuals, all right, older adults, all right, who are eating good levels of vitamin K, they're seeing less complaints, or at least sort of less risk or symptoms of memory loss, which is great for, just being able to add one vitamin to our diet and be able to see improvement in memory and improvement in cognitive function is something that we love to see. All right, it's so simple and so really easy, I guess, if you can find the right food for yourself. But an amazing study, especially for older adults, right? Because when we see it in older adults, we know that it can have a preventative effect as well. And that's super important because a lot of it comes down to prevention, guys. I'll let you know if I have luck. Yes, let me know, Christine. Absolutely. Let me know. And if anyone else has had it, let me know here. If anyone else has any questions in chat, please let me know. All right. I'm giving you guys, again, those foods to help improve cognitive function, reduce cognitive ailments. All right. The risk of cognitive ailments. But again, if you have any questions, please let me know. I'd be happy to help. It'd be anything diet, exercise, right? You can go ahead and ask, guys. Now, again, with broccoli, why is broccoli so important? Well, we know that it contains a number of unique and potent compounds that have tremendous anti-inflammatory and antioxidant effects. And we keep going back to that. Why? Because chronic inflammation leads to so many chronic diseases, guys. Heart health, liver health. We see with Alzheimer's disease. Oh, what are some other ones that come to mind? Even compromising our immune system, indigestion, our digestive system. So many issues come from chronic inflammation. So those numerous compounds and potent compounds that have anti-inflammatory properties and antioxidant effects, right? We're not talking about vitamin K here anymore. Now we're talking about different compounds in broccoli, all right, that have anti-inflammatory and antioxidant effects. One, we saw can help protect against brain damage, all right? So one, brain damage, that's amazing. But also, I think the bigger one here, it can help to protect and prevent, all right, neurodegenerative diseases, all right, and brain aging, all right, and delay brain aging, all right, which I think is tremendous. All right, if we're talking about improved brain function, all right, and reduce cognitive ailments, those are some of the biggest ones. All right, anti-inflammation, antioxidants. All right, and plus you're getting that sulforaphane. Plus, it also has fiber, so you're going to be increasing your nutrient uptake as well, guys. So it's an amazing choice. Now let's get into another one here, guys. And again, if you have any questions, let me know. All right, I'd be more than happy to help. Again, with avocados, nuts, guys. I know you asked it earlier, but all right, things like nuts and seeds, super healthy for our brain. A lot of it has to do with, their amazing micronutrients, macronutrients, healthy fats, monounsaturated fats, but also antioxidants and vitamin E. All right, and we know vitamin E can reduce free radical damage, which all the rest of these can do, which can slow down mental decline. All right. Plus, walnuts have omega-3s in them as well, so you're getting kind of a double whammy in there. Now, one that I really want to touch on here, guys, and let me know if you're a fan of this food. I think it's a tremendous superfood. I think it's a great food. I almost eat them every day. I'd say at least 5 times a week. But another super important one for overall brain health is going to be eggs, and that's whole eggs, guys. All right, whole eggs are super important when it comes to brain health. All right, there are several nutrients that are vital for overall brain health, all right, and for cognitive function. So some of the more important ones: vitamin B12, which I had mentioned earlier, vitamin B6, folate, and another important one, choline. All right, so choline's super important. We know that, it's an important micronutrient. All right, but it helps to regulate mood and memory. So if you're looking for improved cognitive function, eggs are one of the best choices that you can make. They also have healthy fats in them, which is super important for our overall brain health as well. All right, now we know that choline especially linked to better memory and better mental function. Numerous studies, guys. I could list I think 5 studies I have written down here. I won't go through them all right, but we see in these studies, all right, just that one micronutrient, all right, helps regulate mood, all right, which is important for brain health, all right, reducing cognitive ailments, because we're not just talking about Alzheimer's disease, all right, or dementia. Yes, those are super important, but other cognitive ailments, depression, mood, things like that, we see, all right, that it's linked to better mood, better memory, all right, and better mental function. All right, we also know, all right, egg yolks, all right, is where that micronutrient is found. If you're eating just the egg white, you will not be getting that micronutrient. All right, and all of the micronutrients in eggs are basically concentrated within the egg yolk. All right, all of the nutrients. All right, with the egg white is going to give you protein, yes. All right, and yes, it's going to be a little bit lower in calories. But we don't have to, or if some people are scared of cholesterol, all right? But again, our intake of cholesterol is not going to have a major effect on your serum cholesterol levels. That's going to be more of your lifestyle. Are you sedentary? Are you dealing with obesity? Are we dealing with extreme obesity? All right, that's where we're going to get into some of the, cholesterol issues, not really the intake, unless you're eating 24 eggs a day, which I don't know if anyone is, but, just keep that in mind as well. Okay, now, we also know that, like I mentioned before, B vitamins, very important for our overall brain health, all right? So, eggs, and Christine, I definitely agree with you. You do whole eggs, egg yolk is the best part. I agree. Not only is it the best tasting, but it's where all the healthy nutrients are. It's where all the healthy fat is, all right? That would be another... So before a substitute for avocado, we can go with eggs, healthy fats, and plus you're going to be getting a ton of micronutrients from it, good macronutrients from it. You get protein, healthy fats. I don't see why egg can't be a substitute for avocado. All right, yes, it's going to give you protein, which the avocado isn't, but it's going to give you great healthy fats. So that could be another substitute too, because I know that was a question a little bit earlier. But B vitamins, guys, especially the ones found in eggs, super high in B vitamins. Just keep this in mind. B vitamins have been found, all right, to have several important roles for brain health, all right? B vitamins, all right, can slow down the progression of mental decline in older adults. Again, why is that important? All right, slow down the progression of mental decline in older adults. But then that is also, again, telling us that it has a preventative effect for mental decline, a prevention, all right? So we're thinking preventatively here as well, right? So not only do we, if you're already dealing with it as an older adult, that's fine. All right, we can have eggs and we can see benefits from that as well. But if we're eating it, before that happens, you're going to get preventative effects as well, plus all the improvements in cognitive function also, which is amazing. So not only are you reducing the risk of cognitive ailments and preventing the risk of cognitive ailments, but you're improving cognitive function at the same time. All right, and eggs are an amazing source of B vitamins. And just for the record too, one of the supplements I take is a B vitamin. Not all the time, and it's not a super high dose of B vitamins, just because I do get a lot of B vitamins in my day-to-day diet. So, but B vitamins very, very important. All right, for a number of different reasons. But we're talking about brain health here. All right, one, slow down the progression of mental decline. All right, which is amazing. All right, of brain aging. All right, we also know that it can lower the levels, all right? Lower the levels, the amount of homocysteine, which is an amino acid linked to dementia and Alzheimer's disease, all right? And we see that in a couple of studies here that I've written down. If you want me to name them, I can. I'm not going to because, again, I've been listing a lot. Right? If you want me to, I definitely can. But again, lower the levels of homocysteine, an amino acid linked to dementia and Alzheimer's disease. Just like we saw in some of the other ones, right? I think it was Curcumin, where we saw that could help with reducing the amount of amyloid plaques, which was linked to Alzheimer's disease. Here, again, we see with eggs, not only slowing down the progression of mental decline, but also lowering an amino acid that has been linked to dementia and Alzheimer's disease. Amazing, all right? And that's why two eggs per week, is that enough? I think that's just fine. 2 eggs, is great, Cynthia. Like I said, as long as you're getting them in, I think that's more than enough. The important thing is that you're getting them in. Could you increase it? You certainly could. I mean, you could go to like 4. You could double it. I think that would be fine. But as long as you're getting them in, 2 eggs is better than 0. Right? Because and then again, sometimes that can be a little bit hard to answer, just depending on what your diet is overall. So let's say if you were a client of mine, Cynthia, and I knew what your diet was, and I saw a complete picture of what your diet was, how many healthy fats you were getting in, what your protein intake was, we could definitely say 2 eggs is enough. But I think 2 eggs is great. All right, could you have a couple more? Yeah, sure. I mean, you'll see videos out there. I don't really watch them, but videos of people who are having 4 eggs a day. All right, and that's fine. All right, you can have 4 eggs a day. Sometimes I'll have 2 to 3, but 2 eggs per week, good. That's good on you, Cynthia. All right, I think that's gonna improve your health in a lot of ways. Like I said, I think eggs are a superfood. There you go, super cathio. I think you just nailed it. Lingonberries. What was I saying? Loganberries? I was close. Trying to remember it off the top of my head. I could picture it. Or Loganberries, maybe I was saying. But lingonberries. All right. That, I think you're correct. I think that you're correct with that one. I think that's what it was. Like I said, it was one that I hadn't really researched or really even heard of before. There's so many different species and varieties of berries that you could go down a rabbit hole just looking at different ones. But I think you're right, Super Cathio. So thank you for pointing that out, because I believe that was the one mentioned in the article with blueberries. Yes, that is the spelling, Christine. Cynthia, thumbs up. Thank you so much. It's not brain health, but my eye doctor wants me to take B3. That's interesting. Did they tell you why? Christine, niacin has a lot of health benefits. One of them being eyes. When it comes to B vitamins, guys, there are so many health benefits, like even for just looking at vitamin B3, like digestive system, healthy skin, your nervous system, things like that. Niacin, and that's what vitamin B3 is, niacin. There's so many important benefits that come from that come from B vitamins. And that's why I love eggs. That's why I think eggs are a superfood. Yes, super. Thank you, Super Kathy. I appreciate that. It's not for brain health, but yeah, eye doctor wants me to take B3. I'm sure there's a good reason for that. When it comes to eyes, I know for skin, it's definitely important, and maybe that's some of the same reason. I know there's B3 eye drops out there. It might even be for glaucoma. I don't know if you suffer from that or anything like that, but I know that it can definitely, there's so many things. You could go so many certain ways. Does it help the optic nerve? Oh, circulation. My eyes are my weak spot. Well, that makes sense, Christine. Like I kind of just mentioned there, like your decreased optic nerve degeneration, even eye pressure, things like that. So circulation, that totally makes sense. So that's great. I'm not sure if you're taking a supplement, a niacin supplement, or you're just trying to, increase foods with vitamin B3, but that's awesome. Trying to get that B3 in there. Lots of ways to get it in there. Lots of great foods that are full with of vitamin B3. And, if you're having a hard time getting in with food, it's one of the more cheaper supplements out there. So that's great. Okay, so let's continue with eggs, just because we also have to keep in mind here. All right. 2 B vitamins found. I already mentioned vitamin B6 and vitamin B12. So we also we have folate and vitamin B12. All right, also linked, all right, to depression and mood. And I had mentioned, when we talk about cognitive ailments, yes, we're talking about things like Alzheimer's disease and dementia, and those are the big ones. But mood, especially today, mood and depression, all right, at an all-time high, I believe, especially coming off COVID, especially in younger individuals these days. Not that it's not in older adults either, but in younger individuals, I think we're seeing the numbers go up a little bit. All right, we're seeing folate and vitamin B12 being linked to having some beneficial effects for depression and mood. Now, when it comes to depression and mood, yes, I've brought that up a couple times here, but if you are dealing with any of that, please make sure that you speak with your medical practitioner, okay? It would be very irresponsible of me to say, if you're dealing with symptoms of depression, to add 2 eggs to your diet, okay? It's a complex condition, all right? There's certain, biological, chemical factors that go into that, all right? So we know that it's been linked to seeing some progress and being able to help with depression and mood, but it's such a complicated condition. Please speak with your medical practitioner. Oh, that's great. There you go. So that's awesome. So there you go. So you're taking a supplement, Christine. Yeah, it's probably the easiest way to do it. 500 milligrams. Okay. Prolonged release. Nice. Okay. Was that recommended to you by him, or was that just something that you sort of found on your own? I would imagine maybe he recommended it, like the prolonged release. I kind of like that, to be honest with you. So that's not a bad choice at all. But just keep that in mind, guys. Now, another one. Here's the big thing. Folate. Folate is a very, very common deficiency, especially in older individuals. All right, younger individuals too, but we see folate deficiency very, very common in older individuals, especially those individuals with Alzheimer's disease or dementia. All right, so studies show that folic acid supplements, all right, or just getting it through your daily diet, can help to minimize age-related mental decline. So folate becomes very, very important when it comes to reducing the risk of cognitive ailments, and as a preventative measure to certain chronic cognitive issues like mental decline, like memory loss, all right, even reaction time. Going back to reaction time again. No, doctor, show me which one to get. That's kind of what I thought, Christine, because that's a pretty specific one, and that prolonged release kind of gave it away there. That's a nice one. I had to say when I read it there, that sounds great. So hopefully that's working out for you. Oh yes, you have high eye pressure. Yeah, that's the other thing too, Christine. This is why I like the chats, because we can go back and forth, and I kind of you mentioned something, and then I bring up something, and then you can relate to it. That's why I love these live chats, guys. Now, one last thing I want to say about eggs. Okay, when it comes to eggs, we also see, all right, the good thing about eggs, and the reason why, one, vitamin B12, yes, very, very helpful, all right, because it can help with, I don't know if synthesizing is the right word, but it can help, all right, with improving the reaction. All right, so maybe synthesizing is the reaction of brain chemicals and regulating brain chemicals, all right, but also regulating sugar levels in the brain, which is huge, because we know sugar levels, if they're high in the brain, all right, it's going to be causing inflammation, oxidative stress, and leading to mental decline. Okay, so it can be one of those risk factors. All right, we want to make sure that we're regulating not only blood sugar levels in the brain, but also in the body. And eggs can do a great job of that. All right, and that's why it's so popular on keto, for people on a keto diet. That's why it has healthy fats and protein, so it's not going to be spiking glucose and insulin. All right, insulin being the hormonal response to certain carbohydrates, to sugar, things of that nature. So I love eggs. I think they're one of the best. All right, one of the best foods, especially for brain health. All right, all of these foods. All right, fatty fish, omega-3 fatty acids, salmon, mackerel, sardines, curcumin, blueberries, broccoli. We mentioned pumpkin seeds a little bit. We mentioned almonds a little bit, walnuts, eggs. So many brain boosting effects as well with these is also. So not only the preventative effects, things that can boost cognitive function, all right, but brain boosting effects when it comes to performance, like memory, if we're trying to increase memory, increase reaction time, all right, all of that stuff is so important. But I think reducing things like oxidative stress, neurodegeneration. All right, these are some of the best foods that you can have to prevent and improve cognitive function and reduce cognitive ailments. I really think if you're going to go with just adding a food or two to your diet, I think omega-3s is a great one. I think turmeric is another great one, because you can get turmeric. Blueberries, super easy. Eggs, another super easy one. Broccoli, some people are a fan of it, some people aren't. All right, maybe if you aren't a fan of broccoli, maybe try, you can still cook broccoli or steam broccoli, and you're still going to get the benefits of it. All right, you're not going to totally destroy the vitamin K in it. You're still going to be able to. I know that the one when I was mentioning the RDI of vitamin K in broccoli, I know it was still super high in cooked broccoli. So I know a lot of times people will be worried about, if you boil certain foods, will we lose the vitamin C and this and, the vitamin A or vitamin E. We can say here, all right, for vitamin K, if you're cooking broccoli, all right, you're still, just 1 cup, you're still hitting pretty much your RDI of vitamin K. So don't be afraid to cook it, add it to different recipes, right? You're still getting a tremendous amount of health benefits even if it's cooked, right? So I think that's important to note. So, thank you. I have to say thank you so much. Again, thank you so much to Cynthia for the super chat, for the support. Very much appreciated, Cynthia. Thank you so much. Or should I say super sticker? learning something new every day. Thank you so much. Again, big shout out to Mary, who's a Fit Team member who has joined the channel. Big shout out to you. But also big shout out to everyone else, supporting the channel here. A lot of names that I recognize, even some new names, which is amazing to see. I mean, we're at 70 thumbs up, guys. I'm not sure if I've seen 70 thumbs up of on on a live stream in a very, very long time. So I very much appreciate that. Oh, good. Not a fan of raw broccoli. You know, Christine, I'm very lucky that I am sort of a fan of raw broccoli. I can have it raw with, to a certain extent, but there's a lot of, trust me, that's quite rare. A lot of people do prefer to have it steamed or even cooked, and even just adding it to different recipes. I'll be honest, sometimes I'll add it to my smoothies and I can hardly taste it. If you're having a good smoothie with the right ingredients, maybe I should make a video showing my smoothie, but I can put a bunch of spinach, a bunch of broccoli into my smoothies and hardly even taste it. Really not taste it at all. I wouldn't even know broccoli was in it, to be honest. But I think I'm more of a broccoli fan than most individuals, I think, Christine. I can eat it, but I prefer it steamed. Yes. And so that's the thing. If you prefer it one way over the other, especially when it comes to broccoli, go for it steamed, Christine. All right. Enjoy it. Okay. If you're going to eat it the way that you enjoy it, because if you're forcing yourself to eat raw broccoli when you don't enjoy raw broccoli, then you're probably not going to be sticking to it. So that's what I say for anyone's diet. Eat what you enjoy. Of course, it has to be healthy. We're not talking about like sugar and things like that, but stick to food, stick to types of diets that you enjoy. All right. There's a lot of different diets out there. We've gone through this a little bit. There's a lot of different, foods, nutrient timing, all of this discussion. Sometimes you can get so bogged down, all right, so bogged down in different ways of eating. What's the best way for fat loss? What's the best carbohydrate? What's the best protein source? If we're sticking to the basics, all right, we're going to be doing a great job of improving our overall health. If you're adding just a couple of these foods to your overall diet, you're going to be doing a great job to improving your overall cognitive function. That's just how it's going to be, guys. And we can just keep, trying to improve day by day. Yeah, Cynthia, I think I will. I think you do need to do that smoothie video. Please do. Cynthia, I think I will. And I think that's one of the things that I'm going to be doing more and more of. Some certain recipes here, some teas that I think would be helpful for you guys to see me make. I think that would be really interesting, but should definitely do a smoothie video for you guys. Just what goes into my smoothie. Again, the dosages and things like that might be a little bit different, but I think the ingredients are going to be staying in and about the same. Again, I'm not a huge avocado fan, but I will be able to put avocado into my smoothie. And again, I put about a quarter of an avocado in, just depending on how much fat I'm looking to get in on that meal. So I think the smoothie video would be very, very interesting. But again, like I said, thank you so much, guys. I really appreciate the support. How many? 71 thumbs up here. You guys are absolutely amazing. Yeah, I think the teas. Okay, Christine. If you guys are interested in seeing the teas, then I'd be more than happy to make a couple tea videos specifically for the channel, which I think you guys would really like. I have a couple tea recipes that are pretty healthy and pretty simple to make, and I think seeing makes it a lot easier, and we can kind of go step by step on sort of what I'm consuming. But I think we will end the chat there, guys. Thank you so much. We just crossed 92 minutes, so we've been going over an hour and a half. That is absolutely amazing. Flew by. Then does not feel like an hour and a half. If there's any questions, you can ask now, but I will be back on Wednesday. Again, I think Wednesday might be more a little bit of a go make those videos. Okay, I definitely will, Cynthia. I like getting the feedback. Thank you so much. Joe, great to see you. Great to see you, Joe. It's been a while. Hope you're doing great. Oh, hello, Coach Saint. Hearing your take on raw broccoli. Have you tried the slaw made with broccoli? And no, I haven't, to be honest. I have not. I might have to look at a recipe, Joe. I've definitely had with traditional cabbage and with shredded carrots, but never with broccoli. But it sounds great. I mean, as long as like the sauce and everything in there looks good, it sounds delicious. It's a great way to get, your greens in there. As long as, everything else in there you know, tremendous. I'll have to look at that, Joe. But Joe, great seeing you in chat. Really appreciate you coming in. Morning or afternoon? Oh, okay. So for Wednesday, I'm gonna try. I think my schedule will allow me to go a little bit later. It might be like late morning. I'll make sure I put it up there. We might be able to do around noon. I'll definitely make sure I put a notification up. Just with work and everything. We'll see. So I'm trying to think of a time. I just can't commit to whether it won't be super early. That's for sure. There'll be no 5 a.m.s. All right, no 5 a.m.s. I have way more freedom here now. I have my cameras all set up. I have the mic set up. We're good to go. So it's not going to be like a 5 a.m. It'll be more of maybe like a late morning type thing. All right, maybe early afternoon, sort of like today. But I'll make sure I give it a notification up so you guys have lots of time up there. Super Cathio, this is my first time here. Yes, I noticed the new names, Cathio, so thank you so much for joining us. How nice you address everyone. Refreshing. Well, my pleasure, Super Cathio. You know, that's why I love the live streams. And thank you so much for joining us for the first time. I hope to see you in more live chats. Thank you so much. Saying that sounds interesting. Yeah, I think they'll be good. I think it'll make good videos. I think it'll be good content and valuable content. That's the most important thing. Cynthia, blessed week, Nate, and everyone on this live chat. Awesome. Thank you, Cynthia, to you as well. Really appreciate it. Sonia, thank you so much, Sonia. Great to see you. Hope you're doing really well. Hope everything is going great, Sonia. Thank you, Nate, for this very informative. This info, very informative. Well, my pleasure, Sonia. And like I said, great to see you in chat. Always a pleasure. Hope you're doing well. Just so I can go watch for you. Thanks, Christine. Wishing you a great weekend, Nate, and hopefully I'll make your next live this coming Wednesday. I hope so too, Joe. Like I said, hope you're having a great week. Hope everything's going well, Joe. Great seeing you in chat here. Hope I'll be able to catch the Wednesday show. If not, we'll watch it later. That's right, Cynthia. They'll always be posted up, guys. Always, you know, if you're not able to make the show, it'll go right up right after. So just in case you miss it, it'll be going right up. But thank you so much, guys. 71 thumbs up. Like I said, I don't know if I've seen that many before. So thank you very much, everyone. I hope you found the information today to be informative. Great chat. Great engagement. I have to thank all of you. You know, you guys make it so easy for me sometimes with all of the engagement. So, you know, big shout out to everyone. If I could scroll up, I would. But big shout out to you all. You guys know who you are. Everyone in chat here and everyone who's going to be listening to this later on. So, everyone have a great rest of your Saturday. Stay safe, stay healthy. Send me an email if you have any questions. You know, we're here as a support network, and I want to be able to help as best I can. So continue with what you're doing. Continue with your goals. I know that we're going to achieve them. We'll achieve them together, and we'll become the best version and the healthiest version of ourselves, guys. So thank you so much. It's been a pleasure as always. I will talk to you live on Wednesday. But again, of course, be on the lookout for more live videos. Thank you so much for the support, guys. Stay safe, stay healthy, like I said, and we will talk to you soon.